Integration Objects is pleased to demonstrate how you can install and use the OPC Easy Archiver product. In the previous demo video, we demonstrated how you use the OPC Easy Archiver to collect OPC data and store them into a SQL database. Let's now see how to configure the OPC Easy Archiver to store OPC historical data. First, we will add a connection to an OPC HDA server. To do so, right-click on the OPC HDA servers node and select Connect to OPC HDA server. Here, select the server you want to connect to. Click the Connect button to confirm your configuration. To add items, right-click to the OPC HDA server and click Add Item. In the Add Items dialog, browse the server address space and drag and drop the item or the group of items you want to add. Then, click Apply. The items will be added under the related OPC HDA server. To add an HDA archiver, right-click on the HDA archiver node available in the Archivers tab and select Add New HDA Archiver. This will prompt the Add New HDA Archiver. Enter the archiver name and select the database type. Enter your SQL Server instance name and select the authentication mode like we did for the OPC Archiver. Now, select your tables. You can either create new tables or select existing ones. The data table will store the historical data. The distributed table will store the result of the read attributes calls, the DAM-modified table will store the result of the read modified calls, and the annotations table will store the result of the annotations table. For the new table option, enter the table name and click the Select Column button to add columns to your table. In the next dialog, select the OPC server to be assigned to your archiver. Click Next and then Finish. Now, we need to start the archiver. Right-click and choose Start Archiver. For HDA, we need to perform HDA operations like read raw and read process to retrieve the historical data to be archived. For this purpose, we will create a read raw loop by selecting one or multiple items. Now, right-click on the selected items and click Sync Loop and then Read Raw Loop. This is the configuration window for the read raw loop. You can use absolute date or relative date. Enter the start date of the first read request of this loop, the time interval of each read raw, and the waiting time between two successive read raw requests. In this example, the first read raw request will read data of an interval of 10 seconds, wait for 10 seconds, then send a read data request for the next interval. You may set an end date for the loop. If this parameter is configured, the loop will stop when the end date is reached. A new tab is created in the main view to display the results of the read raw loop. Now that the archiver is running and we are collecting data, we will check the data stored in the database. As you can see, data is successfully saved into the database. To stop the loop, go to the Loop tab, select a loop, right-click on it and click Stop. You can do the same with processed historical data using the read processed loop. To do so, select an item, right-click on it and go Sync Loop, and then Read Processed Loop. Configure the loop parameters. In this example, the aggregate function of the read processed request is the average. The read processed interval is 20 seconds, and the resample interval is set to 10 seconds, and the waiting time between two successive read processed requests is 10 seconds, so we will get two aggregated values each 20 sec. The aggregate values are 10-second averages. Click OK to save your loop configuration. A new tab is created for the read processed loop result. Let's check the data in the database. You can see that the results of the read processed loop are successfully saved. To save the configuration, click the Save button in the File menu. Enter a name for your configuration and click Save. To set the configuration as default configuration, click the Define button and select your configuration file. This will load the configuration automatically when you restart the OPC Easy Archiver. Exit the application and open it again. Verify that the default configuration is loaded. In this demo video, we briefly demonstrated the main features of the OPC Easy Archiver. Integration Objects OPC Easy Archiver guarantees safe data archiving without any configuration difficulties. Thank you for watching this demo video. If you need any further information, please contact us at customerservice@integrationobjects.com.